Good start, Tommy.
Now, the pandemic has put enormous pressure on people's physical and mental well-being, and yoga is one tried and tested method to help alleviate stress and anxiety.
Yoga expert Michael Ryan joins us this morning. You've got some breathing techniques and movements for us today, Michael.
Good morning.
Yeah, just a few simple things to support us in getting through what we're all going through. You know, obviously life has gotten a little bit more challenging for most of us, if not a lot more challenging. And these systems or techniques are just an aid to really trying to feel better, trying to feel more at ease within ourselves.
Okay, and what's the first thing we need to do, Michael, then? What can we do, first of all, this morning? I wish I could push you over.
But standing. So if we're standing up, yeah, you've got a great one there. Very simple. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hug ourselves. So we're just going to wrap our arms around us, hold our ribs, and even here, you could close the eyes for a moment. You just really feel the hands on your ribs, and then begin to take a deeper breath. So you feel the movement happening underneath the ribs. Now, the ribs are a really important part of the body. They contain the lungs, they contain the heart. The tendency for most of us is we're overly contracted, overly tight, kind of the body is slightly protected. So when you're taking these deeper breaths, you're beginning to unravel and open. These muscles between the ribs and the intercostals begin to expand. It'll create space for your spine, that area of the spine decompressed. As you're taking these deeper breaths, the idea of even shuffling a little in the shoulders or shrugging a little in the shoulders. So you just feel all of that space between the ribs or between the shoulders and the waist, breathing deeply into the ribs. And then very simple here, you can just arch over to one side. So you get a little bit more stretch to the other side. And again, it's not about forcing, it's not about straining. You're meeting some of the tightness and the discomfort and you're breathing into it. You're giving it a little bit of time to unravel and open up. And then come on back, another deep breath, and we'll go to the other side. And you just continue to breathe. Breath is slow and steady. Perfect. And then come back up and release the arm. Now you can do that 3 or 4 times and you'll begin to feel there's more lightness in the body, more lightness as you breathe. And it's particularly good for supporting lung activity, for really helping bolster the lungs, which of course are a really kind of vulnerable part with this pandemic going on, So to really teach the lungs how to work and really reach their fullest capacity. So a very simple breathing technique. You know, you've got that idea of holding the ribs and working with them that way, but if we weren't holding the ribs, we could simply, to begin, take 3 deep, slow, steady breaths. So if you can, you breathe in through the nose and you breathe out through the mouth. Very simple, very straightforward. But what is amazing as you do this is it literally changes the physiology of the body. The chemicals that create a sense of vitality, a sense of presence, a sense of ease in our body. That's all about a chemical cocktail in the body. They begin to get engaged, they begin to work. And equally, the chemicals, the cortisone, the adrenals, the chemicals that produce stress, they begin to decrease. So this way of just focusing on the breath begins to change what's happening internally for us. So those long, deep breaths. Now you can go 3 breaths if you're busy and you've got stuff going on, you don't have time. But if you have time and you can begin to build a little practice, going a little bit longer is an amazing way of beginning to really create a change that's not just in this moment, but will become a more permanent experience for you. What you're doing is you're getting used to what it feels like to be calm. And if you think about all of the things that are in the world, all the information that's being imparted to us, all of the fear that's out there, it's so easy for that to take over and really become part of our day-to-day experience, get kind of developed with it. So if we have a little system, a little way of beginning to really support our capacity, and it's in there for each of us, it's part of what we are as human beings. That idea that peace or ease is accessible is a really important thing to remember for us.
Great, Michael. I don't think we've ever been so quiet in studio.
This is pretty zen.
What are the next round of stretches we're going to do, Michael?
Well, we were going to sit down, just to show us that we could actually, you know, anybody can do this kind of work. It doesn't have to be strong or difficult. Now, the first one we did is we held as if we were hugging ourselves. This time we're going to hold the sides of the ribs. Very similar. I want you to breathe into the hands. So you're really feeling these parts of the ribs beginning to move. If you could have your fingers at the front and your thumbs at the back, so you get all sides. You think of the ribs of 3 sides. They have a front and then the side and then the back. And you're feeling all parts of this moving as you're breathing. And even just to do a few rounds of this, so the breath feels kind of even. You know, you can feel the front moves as the back moves. And you're teaching the muscles how to move as one piece, almost like the idea that they're integrated, that they're one system. So every inhalation, the whole cylinder of the ribs expands, and that begins to create, again, a much more balanced movement through the ribs, but also particularly into the lungs. Quite often we use one part more than the other, and it kind of wears out parts of us. It actually will create stress in our body. So as you work in this way, the lungs begin to move more evenly and in a more balanced way, and then you're going to get the capacity of the lungs to support you. Like most.
Very good, Michael. This is great.
Oh no, I hope you haven't frozen there. Michael, in terms of chanting, will you talk us through that? Because I know that's an important part of what you recommend.
Yes, absolutely. So it's very similar to what the breath does to the body. Chanting is the idea of using a sound to create calmness in the body. So when you say something to somebody, if somebody says to you, I love you, somebody you love says that to you, you feel it has an effect on you. So words are really important. And in yoga, one of the very popular ones we use is Om, O-M. And it simply is a kind of a sound that represents, if you, in a sense, the creating force behind life. It's like a really positive sound. So if you're sitting, close your eyes. That's it. You take a deep breath.
We hope you're feeling nice and relaxed with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your company. We shall see you from 7 a.m. tomorrow.